Welcome to Still Moment Studio. My name is Paula. Today I'm going to take you through how to make a birch tree. Birch trees are probably one of the most simple trees that you can make. It's mostly white, so it's very little shadowing, and then the marks on the tree is the basic steps. First off, just simply how to make the trees themselves, a pathway, and then a cluster of birch trees. First of all, create two parallel lines that are slowly getting closer together at the top. For the first tree, I'm going to have the sun coming from the left. The middle tree is if the sun was at the back, and on this right-hand tree, the sun is at the right. This next step is optional. I like to put a very soft wash of yellow. If it's in the distance, I would use a lemon yellow to have it be a cool yellow. And if it's closer to the front, I would do a very soft wash of cadmium yellow on the sun-warmed side of the tree. I don't want to mess up the white, so this is very, very watery. For the shadowing, I like to use a brush that can spread out and cover quite a lot of the trunk of the tree. So I'm going to size up to a size 10 for the next step here, so that as I press on it, it fans out and it creates the shadow in one stroke. You can use a couple different options for the shadows. I'm choosing to use yellow ochre with a little bit of blue. And this is also going to be very light, so a lot of water and very little color. When I bring that over, I'm going to press and lift off at random intervals so it spreads out the bristles of the brush. And as I lift off, it leaves puddles. So it leaves a variegated shadow very quickly and very easily. And I go down the whole trunk of the tree doing this method, pushing, lift off a bit, push, lift off. Let that dry. And then a little bit darker tone of ultramarine blue with yellow ochre. Go a little bit darker into more of a blue. I've sized down to a size 8 brush, so when it fans out, it's slimmer this time. For sun that would be at the back, the shadow would be at the front, so I would go down the middle, and I've left yellow on either side. Take a small brush, this is a size 0, or you could take a size 2, just a very small detailed brush. And I'm using a black-brown mixture, about a medium tone. The markings on a birch tree are horizontal. Sometimes the papery bark has been stripped away, and then the other markings are almost like eyes with an eyebrow and an eye in the middle, very elongated, very similar to an aspen tree. Both trees can be done in a fairly similar way. The branches on this type of birch tree are dark, just a little darker than the markings, so I'm going to use brown black to create them. They'll start at the eyelets and they're going to be up high. This tree has dropped off most of its thin branches. That's what those eyelets used to be. So up high there are a few slim branches left. So I'm going to give it a little bit of wiggles and a little bit of character. I don't have to add a lot to make this tree really stand out. The second demo is a pathway. So the birch trees are fairly similar. They're very straight. There's not a lot of extra branches. They have the dark branches that are very slim and up high. They have the eyelets. The papery bark has been ripped away a little more often on these trees, so there's more dark markings, and you can see at the base they also have that darkening that some species of birch trees have. I'll go ahead and draw in lines that are fairly parallel, getting only slightly narrower at the top, and you can give a little variation. The lines don't have to be perfectly straight. The trees back behind that are narrower as they get further away, and some of them are younger as well, so they would be narrower for that reason. And then over on the right hand side, they're kind of leaning and interacting a little bit more with one another. The light is coming from the right, so I'll create a very soft yellow, mostly water, and I'm just going to touch that side so that it feels like it glows a little bit in the painting and just makes that a little bit more alive. Next, yellow ochre mixed with ultramarine blue for that first shadow. Pressing and lifting off to create variation. The same mixture of yellow ochre and ultramarine blue with just a bit more blue in it, so it's a little bit darker. And finally, that characteristic horizontal markings on the tree with a mixture of brown and black. Slim branches are up high, again brown and black. And then I'd finish with the leaves, the foliage, the ground, the path, and I'd have a lot of fun with this painting. But let's go ahead on to demo number 3. In this reference photo, we're talking about a cluster of trees, and funnily enough, my hand was shaking a little bit this day, which gave it a lot of character. I'm almost glad that I drank too much coffee that day. You can see my lines are a little bit more wiggly, not quite as straight. I'm going to start at a base and create a bit more of a cluster feeling, and then the trees are growing off from one another. This is an early morning photograph, so there's really no distinct light source. It's from all around. There's just an overall glow to these trees. So I let it be a little bit more on the right-hand side, and then I shaded. I put in the branches first this time, and then I went ahead and added those distinctive markings on the trunk. If you're interested in the paintbrushes I use or the paint colors, I've listed those over on my website and you can check that out. The link is down below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.